Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 replay cast. Today it's a 1 vs 1 on Ancient Isles. It is a Warcraft 3 ArenaNet replay of the week, featuring our orange orc player, Grubby, and up at the top we have our dark green undead player that has a name that is far too leet for me to pronounce. So he's going to be Mr. Nonsense name for now. Undead vs Orc. We're going to speed this up to the 8x mark. 2-minute point of the game, and all the heroes come out, all the good stuff starts to happen. And it is Ancient Isles, relatively small map, very few places, of course, to expand. And it is still cruising. And Blade Master now out for Grubby. So far, no hero for the undead. Sells his Scroll of Town Portal, gets himself a Circle of Nobility for that. Now looking for a good target, apparently. And no, we got Death Knight out for the undead player. Oh my. I saw an undead Death Knight. I said there was no hero at all. It's very hard to see on the map. He's actually very camouflaged, very well camouflaged on the map over there. That dark green circle that's barely noticeable on the map. And Master did see an Acolyte. Acolyte, give itself away to the creeps and loses the Acolyte to creeps, and that's something you don't see particularly every day. And both players are just running around aimlessly, it seems. It's somewhat unusual. Usually Blade Master goes after some creeps right away, tries to get that level 2 with the critical strike, ever so important. And goes after the Forest Troll Trapper first. The Ogre Magic Camp gonna fall to Grubby now. And Tome of Agility for the Blade Master there. A convenient drop. And Death Knight still meandering about the map here and is towards the center. Ogre Magi about to fall. And Gloves of Haste, very nice for the Blade Master there. Probably asked for Claws of Attack. Those Gloves of Haste are the next best thing for the Blade Master. And loses the creep to the Death Knight there. Gets a good chunk of experience on that. You know, the Blade Master running for his life has been detected with Dust of Appearance. And may take a Death Coil here. Death Coil would stop that regeneration, but he decides to use it on the Grunt. The Grunt just takes another one right after that. And Grubby gonna body block a little bit here, trying to conserve the health of that Grunt. And gets hit, and no more healing for that Grunt, but does have 2 more salves still left on that Blade Master. And the Grunt is back and healed again, and now running for its life. And a very interesting game so far. Quite unusual in a fairly undescriptible way. Blade Master disrupts the creeping there. Fiend getting hit by the Blade Master. And that Death Knight is really looking for this Grunt here. Grunt could actually hit the creeps and possibly block the Death Knight inside. But doesn't do that. A little bit focused elsewhere on these spiders here. Try and get in front of the spider so that you slow it down with your body block, but unable to do that. And this Grunt still running from this Death Knight here. Does have enough for a Death Coil and finally takes it out. Gets level 2. Way before the Blade Master as well. So far, Blade Master way behind. Get Gloves of Haste and Boots of Speed already, so a well-equipped behind Blade Master. But really needs level 2 for that crit, and that Gloves of Haste just adds additional attacks, equals additional crits, equals additional winning. And the Death Knight now running back to base. Again, running around somewhat aimlessly. And may go after the creeps, or not. Just gonna take a look at him. Grubby is around there, but is not. Troll Warlord camp here, a bold choice. Still no level 2 on this. Blade Master should get level 2 from the Troll Warlord, I believe. Soon fall here. Ank of Reincarnation. No, just short. And really needs another creep here, possibly the Nightcrawler, but he's so low, 54 health. And lowering with there with poison. Think of Reincarnation this early in the game. Very unusual item to see on a level 1 hero. And I guess this is why this is replay of the week, because it's just unusual. And a level 1 with an Anchor of Reincarnation. Very interesting indeed. TC, the usual choice for Grubby's second hero. I suppose he goes 50-50. I see him go Shadow Hunter, of course, but he's the only player that I see that consistently goes the Tauren Chieftain, which is okay with me because I love the Tauren Chieftain. And a Necropolis being built here to actually block in Grubby, but does not last long, and I don't think I've ever actually used that strategy against somebody in this game. I've done a lot of goofy strategies in this game. That's one way this game was so great, is trying all these different strategies, but never tried to block anybody in their own base with a Necropolis. Although I've mentioned a couple times in my cast here that I have done Acolyte Massing, which works actually exceptionally well in 4 vs 4. They create a line against your opponent, and your opponent's troops automatically go around the Acolytes to try and get to actual troops if you just pretty much hit A-click. And so they will not automatically attack Acolytes if there are other units around. Man, Grubby about half health here. Gonna try and get the spider down. Get the spider down. And still level 1 on that Blade Master. Really needs that crit. And now that the second hero is in here, it's going to be even longer. Tauren Chieftain with no experience. Yet I thought a spider was lost. Perhaps it was healed just in time. Grunt falls there from Grubby, and there he goes. Gets a spider, gets a little bit of experience on that Tauren Chieftain, but again, it's split now. One more kill, and the Playmaster will be all leveled up. Or perhaps the Orc Burrow actually finished it off, and they didn't get any experience for it. It does act as a tower, and anything that dies under the burrow or a tower does not give experience. And now level 2, and there it goes, the first critical strike of the game, I think. I really hope so. That's a golden moment in any Warcraft 3 game. It's that first critical strike. And Blademaster just about to take a heap of damage there. Could have actually taken a Death Coil and in a little bit of Frost Nova at the same time. Skeletal minion cleaned up by the Blademaster. Back at the Undead base. Black Citadel coming along. Some ghouls. Nothing too crazy just yet. No Overseer camp gonna fall to the Undead. Which really could use that level 2 Lich. Not the greatest level on the Lich, but gotta start somewhere. Replenishment potion for the Undead. We'll see if he sells that or uses that. That's sort of a 50-50 thing too. Some players just immediately sell that, and then he does sell that. Yeah, because he's got the Unholy Aura, so I guess he doesn't really need the replenishment, but it's pretty nice. Gives you 75 mana, which is always enough to use, pretty much always enough to use a skill on the majority of heroes. And a little bit of health. Pretty useful item if you got nothing else, I suppose, but selling it is an option. Back at Grubby's base here. Berserker Strength for those grunts. And now Kodo Beast out on the field. And going after the Null Warden camp here, but here comes the Undead from behind. And he's just going to have to go on the other side of the creeps for now. Possibly let the Undead grab those, but he's going to engage at the same time here. Try not to let that happen. Better takes a Death Coil, keeps it alive for a little extra long. Few extra hits there from the Blade Master. And the Null Overseer camp on the Undead side might reap the rewards of that and himself a freedom, but he may have to run here. That's a pretty decent stomp on that spider there. And now it's silenced temporarily. And that Null Overseer is getting pretty low. Who will get the kill for that? And it looks like the Undead is probably going to get the kill from that. Ring of Protection +2. Drops from there, and he's going to be running off with that and get his +60 gold, the Ring of Selling. And he drops it, perhaps going to leave that for the Chieftain, which is not too bad of an idea. The Chieftain does have really low armor and such high health that armor is health in this game, and health is armor. You can pretty much do a little bit of math, which I just don't like math. But you can kind of add the percentage of damage reduction to the health, and that's pretty much what your hero is. Of course, it doesn't really work too well with spells, but in terms of physical damage, they can just kind of be added together. Rollovers here, Camp. Gonna fall here, and almost got that. It looked like he was actually gonna start the animation, but didn't quite finish it. And is definitely spotted there with Dust of Appearance. Took a lot of damage, and gonna try and go back in again, but again, Dust of Appearance. And it's gonna take way too much damage, 55 health. And I kinda saw that one coming there. And now the Blade Master in a little bit of trouble here. Takes a healing salve from the Tauren Chieftain. The Undead's gonna be kind of free to creep around a little bit. Do some chopping, if you will. Blade Master at that low of health really can't engage. The Dust of Appearance goes off, checking for that Blade Master. But nowhere to be found. Talisman of Evasion, a meh item. I've seen people keep it, I've seen people sell it. It's one of those meh items. It's about the best way to describe it. 15% evasion, not too bad. Can certainly come in handy in particular situations. In this particular situation with a Blade Master, probably comes in handy the most.
Our town is under attack.
Because any miss that can occur with the Blade Master could have been a potential critical strike, which could have potentially killed your hero.
Work complete.
Especially in the later levels, once he gets level 3 critical strike and doing 230 plus damage critical strikes, that can come big handiness. What is the word? What is the plural? Handies. Let's say handies. And rune bracers for the orc rather. And rune bracers, very nice. Going to be very useful with that Frost Nova Death Coil combination. Reduce that by 33%. It's going to be a lot of damage reduction. But the focus is mostly going to be the Blade Master, though, so I'm not sure how much it's going to affect him all that much. The Tauren Chieftain's going to get hit down, of course. I think mostly with melee, and the spells are going to go after the Blade Master to try and burn him down when he's about half health. And Raider falls there, but it looks like he killed his own Raider. Saved himself a little bit of experience going to his opponent there. Shade out on the map now. And that's probably not going to get spotted. Don't see that happening. And another silence goes off, but doesn't really do too much there. Gets the Tauren Chieftain, and he's okay with that. And he's just going to get in there. Oh, and a really nice stun. Gets all of those Skeletal Warriors just at the right time, all surrounded. That was about as optimal as it gets, really, for the Tauren Chieftain there. The more units, the more hitting you do, the more stunning. That really couldn't have worked out much better. Although, of course, it doesn't do too much to those skeletons. But now they are heading towards the orc base. And I'm going to give him some free experience. And Blade Master now grabs the Tome of Intelligence. And just to prevent his ally from getting it. And mana is always a good time. There's a spider out in the open here. And is he going to be going for the Acolytes? Or that spider, just seeing what's going on here. Undead is moving towards the orc base. And there goes Burrow. Very nice skill there. Get rid of that Blade Master. He's hitting statue under attack by the Blade Master, but the Undead is now the cusp of the orc base here. Tauren Chieftain gets silenced. Uses a potion of invincibility to get out of the silence and to prevent a bunch of damage that was probably coming there. The Frost Nova was coming soon. And could turn around and Frost Nova the Tauren Chieftain, but now, with that Rune Bracer, that is really a deterrent of Frost Nova, as that's going to be such a weak Frost Nova on that Tauren Chieftain. They're not really going to be all that worth it. The Blade Master now going after the Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger invulnerability potion. And now on to the Lich. He's using Frost Armor, so slowing down a little bit here. The Tauren Chieftain not looking too good. And uses a salve. He'll be out of the battle for a little while. And picks up a potion there of healing for the Blade Master. Uses it right after the Wind Walk. and almost got that Lich there. May get the Death Knight. Nope, he jukes around fairly well. Keeping himself out of the action. And another healing salve needs to be purchased. There he goes. Buys 2 of them. 2 is better than 1. And now healing up back at the undead base here. And buys a potion of healing, potion of mana. Death Knight. And Wild Wacky Blade Master infiltration about to go on here. And a very low Dark Ranger, but Dark Ranger takes a death coil right at the same time there. Really poor luck on the Blade Master's part there. Don't think he would have got her anyway, but that was very misfortunate timing. And that Shade, seeing everything that's going on, and he's gonna wonder why he's getting hit in Windwalk form. Not in Windwalk form now, but just was. And probably have to know that there's a Shade after that. Tauren Chieftain tanking through the competition here. Devours a spider, but loses it very quickly. Didn't even do that much damage at all. And devours another spider, now taking it off the other way there. And Blade Master in big trouble there.
Our hero has been slain.
Really burned down by all those skills there. Death Coil. And I think he got hit by a Frost Nova. Now Orc in a little bit of trouble here. Definitely out-heroed. 3-3 and 4 versus 1 level 3. So the Undead doing a really good job of leveling up those heroes compared to the Orc player. Now Shadowhunter out on the field for the Orc. And that'll definitely help quite a bit. Troll Berserkers all firing away at the Destroyer there. Destroyer not going to take too much more. And one more volley there takes out the Destroyer. The Raider may fall here. Nope, gets away just in time. And Tauren Chieftain being more of a menace right now than really all that valuable to the Orc. Or rather, against the Undead, sort of the Tauren Chieftain menace. Not really even worth attacking him. He has so much health. And so he just basically lets him run around and auto-attack. And Kotobi still devouring a Quick Fiend. When is that Blade Master going to be out? Not too long here. Kotobeast really injured all the way back at base there. And now the Orc following here pretty quickly. Doesn't have too much left. Kotobeast in a Berserker, and that may be it. Another Raider all the way back here. And another Kotobeast, but they are basically so low. They are near worthless. So they will get healed back up. I think the Blade Master had 2 healing salves on him at the time. And now TC getting surrounded. And still no attacks going on to the TC with the Death Coil or the Frost Nova. It's just really not worth it. 33% reduction is quite significant. Of course, 33% is 33%. And Geomancer falls there. Just drops a Tome of Strength. Wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't get picked up. Clarity Potion on the Blade Master. Now moving on out to the top here. And I go after the Null Brute and check out the Red Drake camp. So not a lot of anti-air to deal with that. Gonna bring the Raiders and net it down. And Tome of Intelligence +2 on the ground. Tauren Chieftain picks it up, interestingly enough. And Drake falls there. Lion Horn of Stormwind. Another very meh item, and that item will more than likely get sold. I wouldn't be surprised. He put it on his Shadowhunter, and he might be planning on holding it for a little while, but I think as soon as money gets tight, that will be sold. And it is a little useful for these Troll Berserkers that have such low health. There goes the Dust of Appearance on that Shade. Shade getting run down now by the Blade Master and finished off. Pesky Shades, and Shadowhunter runs right into the face of everything and loses Shadowhunter instantly, and that was an insta-gib if I've ever seen one. Shadowhunter was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Here comes the Blade Master. Blade Master is pissed. And Photo Beast in big trouble there. Gets killed off pretty quickly. Another destroyer down. And Spider has been netted there. And there goes the sight on the Crypt Fiend there. Dust of Appearance and finishes that off. Actually used Sacrifice there. Dark Ritual on that Crypt Fiend. There we go. I remember it now. And Grubby forced all the way back to his base. That does have quite a bit of healing salves. Those are going to go around. And now just really needs to play the waiting game for just a moment while he heals up with those two heroes. And this Orc Bro doing a lot of damage. Really trying to get at some of those destroyers. They're gonna hit one with a net and then try and move up there, but the DPS right now of the undead is pretty high with those 4 Crypt Fiends. Just turn around and focus fire anything that comes up and net over the Death Knight there. Torn Chieftain getting in front, gonna try and body block, but doesn't quite do the trick. Shade now in the action of it all, and no Dust of Appearance on these heroes. Shadowhunter now out. And wasn't really dead for very long as a level 1. And now no good way of dealing with the destroyers there. This is a Shadowhunter and the Blade Master.
Our town is under attack.
So otherwise, no good units on the map, and not really making any. All of his peons right now hold up in the burrows. And the mine has been finished up. Now it's just down to the heroes. And here comes the Blade Master now moving in. Does get one of those destroyers pretty quick there. That was pretty nice. And Shade gets caught up in that stun there. And Blade Master getting pretty low here. Gonna have to bail out for just a moment. And where are those healing salves? None around. It really needs to build another shop. And Shade just following that Blade Master around. And the second Shade there. Frost Nova goes out on the Lich. And finishes off the Blade Master. But the Blade Master have an Ink Reincarnation, so he just comes right back. Really need some crits here, getting very unlucky with those. And there goes the Windwalk. And 41 health left. And the Blade Master really needs to get out of there. Those Shades seeing everything that's going on. Torn Chieftain now all alone for the most part. Just some peons on his side. And every time he hits, he's way too slow to be particularly useful. And Torn Chieftain really trying to bail with peons getting in his way. And Blade Master just so low, can't really respond in the battle very well.
Our town is under attack.
And Peon just chilling all the way over at the expansion, but not sure if he has the funds. No, 38 in 1944. And we'll check out Gobbledygook Man, 114, 688. And Potion of Invulnerability goes up on the Blade Master, but not going to last too long here. And how long is he going to be able to stay alive? So close, 29 health. 33 finishes off.
Our hero has been killed.
The Dark Ranger with 29 health and really on the run now. There's another Shade here going to be following the heroes around. Shadowhunter doesn't have enough mana or a heal. Does have a Potion of Invulnerability that he could hand over. Which I figure more than likely is going to happen. And he does hand it off. But who did he hand it off to? He handed it off to the Torn Chiefs and then to Blade Master, prison style. Can't tell which one it's on. And now the Blade Master pops the potion. Torn Chieftain's gonna fall. And is there gonna be enough mana And it doesn't look like it. And Playmaster's going to fall now. And that is going to be GG for Grubby. Gobbledygook. Too late for me. Wins the game. And a very interesting game, particularly the start, was very odd. And I feel like Grubby could have had a better advantage if he would have just creeped. And it seemed like he was roaming around a little bit unnecessarily. Not really sure what was going on there, but I think if he would have got right to creep and got that level 2 out a little bit faster on that Blade Master, which counts quite a bit, would have done a little bit better. But a pretty good game. Hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.